You stop walking because your brain whispers something impossible. You know this moment. You know this room. You know these words. But you've never been here before. So why does reality suddenly feel like a memory? For a few strange seconds, your brain becomes convinced the present has already happened. Millions of people experience this every year. Scientists have studied it for decades. Yet your own mind can still fool you without warning. The truth is even stranger than the feeling itself. Your brain isn't predicting the future. It's accidentally confusing the present with the past. And that tiny mistake reveals something extraordinary about how human memory actually works. Your eyes collect millions of pieces of information every second. Your ears add another stream of signals. Your skin measures temperature, pressure, and movement. None of that becomes a memory immediately. First, your brain has to decide what deserves to be remembered. Deep inside your brain sits a small structure called the hippocampus. It works like a librarian. Every sight, sound, and feeling waits for its decision. Should this become a new memory? Or should it disappear forever? Usually, that system works almost perfectly. But sometimes, for only a fraction of a second, something strange happens. A fresh experience is accidentally processed as if it were already stored. Your conscious mind receives two messages almost together. This is happening now. I remember this. Those messages collide. The result is déjà vu. Not because you've lived the moment before, because your memory system briefly labels the present as the past. Researchers such as Dr. Alan S. Brown, who studied thousands of déjà vu reports, found that the experience is surprisingly common. Around 2/3 of healthy people experience it at least once in their lives. It happens most often between the ages of 15 and 25. Why younger brains? Scientists think younger memory systems constantly build new connections. More connections create more chances for tiny processing errors. As we age, those errors become less frequent. But memory timing isn't the only explanation. Another mystery appears when familiar places trigger unfamiliar certainty. Imagine entering a cafe you've never visited. The tables feel familiar. The lighting feels familiar. Even the smell seems strangely recognizable. Your brain may be matching small details with fragments of old memories. Not one complete memory. Hundreds of tiny pieces collected across your lifetime. A wooden chair from your school. A window like your grandmother's house. The same background music from an old movie. Separately, they mean nothing. Together, they create an illusion that your brain mistakes for a real memory. Memory scientist Dr. and Cleary wanted to test exactly that idea. She designed experiments using computer-generated rooms. Some rooms were completely new, but they secretly copied the layout of places participants had seen earlier. Most volunteers insisted the rooms felt strangely familiar, yet they couldn't explain why. Their brains recognized the pattern. Their conscious minds did not. This is called configural familiarity. You don't remember the object. You remember the arrangement. And your brain is astonishingly good at detecting patterns without telling you how it recognized them. But another question remained. If déjà vu is only a memory mistake, why does it feel so convincing? The answer may lie in confidence. Researchers at the University of St. Andrews, including Dr. Akira O'Connor, found that people experiencing déjà vu often know something is wrong. They feel familiarity, but they also know the memory cannot be real. In other words, your brain catches its own mistake. For a brief moment, two systems disagree. One insists, "I've been here." The other replies, "That's impossible." That silent argument creates the eerie feeling that something about reality is slightly off. Even people with perfect memory experience it. Even neuroscientists experience it. No one is completely immune. Interestingly, people with certain forms of epilepsy can experience déjà vu far more often. Their episodes sometimes begin with an intense wave of familiarity before a seizure. Doctors discovered that gently stimulating parts of the temporal lobe during brain surgery could even trigger artificial déjà vu. Without changing the room, without changing the conversation, without changing reality at all, only a tiny burst of electrical activity was enough. The world stayed exactly the same. Only the brain's interpretation changed. That tells us something profound. Reality is not simply what your eyes see. Reality is what your brain successfully interprets. Every second, your mind constructs a version of the world from electrical signals. Most of the time, that construction is flawless. Sometimes, for just a heartbeat, the blueprint slips. And in that tiny crack, you experience one of the strangest feelings a human being can have. You don't travel through time. You don't remember a past life. You witness your own memory system making a microscopic mistake. For a few unforgettable seconds, the present disguises itself as the past. And perhaps that's the most unsettling truth of all. The world around you never changed. Only the story your brain told you about it did. So the next time déjà vu stops you in your tracks, don't ask whether you've lived that moment before. Ask how your brain built that feeling. Because memory isn't a perfect recording. It isn't a hidden camera inside your head. It's a prediction machine. It constantly compares the present with everything you've ever experienced. Most of the time, it gets the answer right. Sometimes, it becomes a little too confident. And confidence can feel exactly like certainty. That's why two people can witness the same event, yet remember it differently years later. Your memories are reconstructed every time you recall them. They are edited, updated, sometimes even distorted. Déjà vu is one of the rare moments when you catch that editing process in action. It reminds you that your experience of reality isn't created by your eyes. It's created by your brain. Every color you see, every sound you hear, every face you recognize, every memory you trust, exists because billions of neurons agreed on a single interpretation. When that agreement slips, even for the smallest fraction of a second, the impossible suddenly feels real. And perhaps the strangest part isn't that déjà vu exists. It's that your brain is so unbelievably accurate the rest of the time that you only notice it when it makes a mistake.